The U.S. president again criticizing Iran's leadership as the warring sides remain in maritime standoff with a ceasefire in its fourth week. Donald Trump claiming that leaders in Tehran are, quote, in a state of collapse. He's also warning them to, quote, get smart soon, saying they do not know how to sign a non-nuclear deal. Iran has been asking for discussions on its nuclear program to be set aside until the conflict and disputes over shipping are over. But reports say Donald Trump is not happy with that. The Wall Street Journal also reporting that the U.S. leader has told aides to prepare for an extended blockade on Iranian vessels and ports in the Strait of Hormuz. This coming out of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's first testimony before Congress since the start of war on Iran. Well, Kate Fisher is covering this story for CNA Live from Washington, D.C. Kate, Donald Trump stepping up his criticism of Iran. What is that signaling about what's next for his administration?
Yeah, just as we're at this standstill, a stalemate between Iran and the US, Donald Trump taking to his Truth Social platform today, Wednesday, saying that Iran better get smart soon. They can't get their act together. They don't know how to sign a non-nuclear deal, clearly showing his frustration at the stalemate. And this included an illustration of the president holding an assault rifle and saying in capital letters, "No more Mr. Nice Guy." And as you said, there's been reporting here from the Wall Street Journal that says that the president has told his team that he wants to prepare for an extended blockade of Iran's ports. And it clearly looks like he is in this for the long haul. The decision, I guess he had to either to go back to the military campaign or to walk away from this conflict. He's decided instead that he wants to continue to apply pressure to the Iranian economy. He thinks that is the best way of persuading them to give up their nuclear enrichment program, which of course is what is the stumbling block here. He wants to see the Strait of Hormuz reopen, which the Iranians have offered, but they have said they are not yet ready to talk about the nuclear issue. That would seem to deny Donald Trump the victory that he is trying to get out of this. He's always said the whole point of this was to stop Iran from having a nuclear weapon. And it looks like his decision for the next stage of the war certainly is to continue this naval blockade and try to hope that that economic pressure on Iran brings them to the table to talk about the nuclear issue.
And what happens in this next stage might be affected by the U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth appearing before the House Armed Services Committee for the first time since the start of war on the 28th of February. What are the tough questions Pete Hegseth is likely to face?
A lot of them. As you say, this is the first chance that lawmakers have had to actually speak to the Defense Secretary since this whole thing began. The premise for this hearing is that the Department of War is asking for $1.5 trillion for next year's military budget. That's a record amount of money. And lawmakers from both sides of the aisle have questions about where this money is being spent. They want to know about the increasing costs of this war that the US is currently in. And also questions, certainly from Democrats, about why Congress was not consulted before the Trump administration began this conflict. There's also questions over potentially the decimation of the US munitions, given the fact that so many have been used in this conflict. Questions about that bombing of a school in Iran at the beginning of the conflict. So there will be a wide range of questions, I think, and not just potentially from Democrats. Also, we have lost American lives in this conflict, and there are likely to be questions as well about how effectively the US can defend its military personnel in here. And we have already 6 articles of impeachment from House Democrats. That is likely to be folded into this questioning. I think it's likely to be combative. Pete Hegseth has been combative in the past, and I don't think that he is likely to change his style here. And I think it's going to be a very interesting to watch, but whether we'll get that much information out of it, it may well be more rhetorical. I don't know how much kind of the actual game plan we're going to hear from Pete Hegseth during this hearing.
Oh, thanks. Kate Fisher there looking ahead to Pete Hegseth's first testimony to Congress since the start of that war on Iran. Kate Fisher reporting from Washington, D.C.